Welcome to another exciting edition of the program, The Desk on Global Television. Time for us to look at issues from very balanced perspective. And today is no different as we'll be focusing from the global scene and the national and sub-national level as we intend to get you well informed as regards all the happenings across the world and especially in the biggest black nation in the country, in the world, talking about Nigeria. My name is Anthony Momodi. Welcome you to the third day of October 2024. On the desk, we'll be taking you to Mexico, where the Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum offered an official apology Wednesday for the massacre of students by the army in 1968. In one of her first acts after taking office, October 2nd will not be forgotten, according to the president. A former student activist who calls herself daughter of 68 declared on the anniversary of the massacre. According to official figures, 30 people died when security forces opened fire at students holding a peaceful rally in the Tlatelolco district of Mexico City, days before the country hosted the Olympic Games. Relatives and activists say that around 400 people died, giving her first news conference after being sworn in on Tuesday as Mexico's first woman President. Sheinbaum said that a decree would be issued describing the killings as a crime against humanity. And a very touching one. It makes one remember hashtag end bad governance, and also not forgetting the previous October protest. Let's make welcome my guests who will be helping us look at all these interesting talking points. We've got Ochaka Ogu, who is the secretary of the Nigerian Union of Journalists, FCT Council, joining us in the live studios. Thank you for making it to the studios.
Thank you for inviting me, Mr. Mamodu.
Yeah, let's begin from the global scene, Mexico. What does this remind you of when you hear the Mexican president, cast her mind back to what happened as far back as 1968?
Thank you very much for this opportunity, Mr. Mamodu. It shows you somebody who is ready to govern. It shows you somebody who is ready to unite the people and give them a direction. She first of all, Claudia, the first female president of Mexico, tried to go back in retrospect of what happened in that nation, because the most important thing is to heal the wound of the land. 30 students were massacred, maybe asking for what is genuine, and asking for what they thought was maybe the right direction for the country to follow. And this president came on board and said, no, let me heal the land, let me appease, let me appeal to the conscience of the people so that we can now start on a clean slate. Honestly, I salute her courage, and I will tell you that a lot will come out of Claudia as time progresses. But I'm telling you, this is a good way to start, appealing to people's conscience and now telling them, please, this thing we have done wrong in this place, please let us forget the past and now start on a clean slate.
Can we put it side by side with what we see in Nigeria, NSAS protests that occurred? We also remember Occupy Nigeria, where it's been said the current president of Nigeria, President Ahmed Bola Tinubu, was one of the chief persons in that protest. And if you fast forward the recent hashtag end bad governance, the way force was used, and do you think he has shown that kind of reliving of what happened in the past now that he is in power?
Well, I wouldn't want to go into certain things in this nation, what is happening, because I think everybody has his own perspective, everybody has his own style. But all I know is that I think there is need for retrospect in Nigeria. There is also need for sober reflection and positive actions, because a lot of injustices, it must be said, the truth must be said, had happened in the past, and I think there is need for us to heal the wound of the past. We had a civil war in this country where maybe a section of the country suffered most.
About the southeast.
Yes, suffered most in that civil war, but nobody for now, today, up till now, has not even deemed it necessary to say, okay, we are sorry, let us move as one. Yeah, rather, that region is still experiencing marginalization occasioned by that war. So that, to them, I think that war must continue. They are not. They should be exempted from certain things in the country. But let me tell you one thing I learned from Chinese diplomat. He said for a country to flourish, you must unite the people. There must be unity of purpose. Because if you're in a ferry and maybe a canoe, and maybe 8 of you are in that canoe, and one person is not paddling that canoe will not go as it should have gone if all of you are putting up effort. So what we need in this country is genuine reconciliation, genuine peace, and also a kind of doing a retrospect, a sober reflection, and then positive action. So I don't want to comment on what is happening presently, because we are not even asking for a better Nigeria, because today is bad. We are asking for a good Nigeria. It's when you get the good that you're not looking for a better country. So, but what I will say is that there is need for us to go back to the drawing board and now retrace our step and know where we misstepped and now get it right.
All right, let's move on to talking about things playing out in Nigeria now as we leave Mexico. On the home front, there's been some hot debate going on as the House of Representatives on Wednesday asked the presidency to note that as one of the chambers that make up the National Assembly, it is not inferior to the Senate. This was as the House of Representative rejected the national honor of a commander of the Federal Republic conferred by President Bola Tinubu on the Speaker, Tajuddin Abbas, demanding that the Speaker should get the title of the Grand Commander of the Order of the Niger, just like the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio. The House mandated its relevant committees to liaise with the presidency to commence the process of amending the National Honors Act of 1964. The reps described as demeaning the conferment of CFR on the Speaker, while the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Kudirat Kekere-Ekun, was conferred with the GCON title. Do you think there's need for this rancor, this power or superiority between the Senate and the House of Representatives? And do you think the president was fair in deciding that the Chief Justice gets that order and Tajuddin Abbas gets the other?
Okay, let's just be honest ourselves, Mr. Mamadou. Is this what we should be talking about in this country, where hunger has become, I can say, a recurring decimal? People go to bed on empty stomach. The situation is going to hopelessness, if not nothingness. And we're talking about national honor. We're talking about inferiority, whether inferiority of a national house. Of course, the House of Representatives is not inferior to the Senate, because they have their own specialities. They are men of honor, getting an integrity. So, and they have their duties given to them by the Constitution. But what I want to say is that I don't think they should even occupy the national space for now, because there is severe hunger in the land, there is insecurity. Just name it, and we're talking about national honor. But tell me that country where national honor is given because you have attained a certain position in governance.
So it's not necessarily by merit.
It shouldn't be. It should be by merit. We can give it to a farmer who is doing a lot. You can even give it to somebody who is planting a tree to check climate change or to check the ratification anywhere, everywhere. It shouldn't be maybe left for people. Yes, no, it shouldn't be, because the fact that you have attained to become to reach a certain position doesn't speak of your character. You are getting me? So, but you can imagine how the level of our backwardness. We are talking this in the midst of hunger, in the midst of poverty, in the midst of hospital not even having enough to cater for the people, in the midst of small children now that because of hunger are now suffering ulcer. And we are discussing whether this person should have this honor or not. No, it shouldn't.
Does that also tell us that the presidency probably didn't do a better background check to decide to give honor to the Chief Justice of the Federation, who is just coming into position and has not shown that, okay, this position is going to be, she's going to use it to the betterment of the judiciary? Because as we know, NBS and some other survey did put the judiciary in bad light as one of the most corrupt agencies of government. So what do you think the timing of this conferment is? Okay,
let me even say this. I think that is unnecessary in that speech. What Nigeria expected is to hear that maybe a petroleum pump price has come down, that certain policies has been put in place to maybe cushion the effect of suffering, because there is hardship in the system. Take it or leave it. And that is why Nigerians are protesting. The protest has raised a lot of issues. How many of these issues we addressed in that address, nation's address by Mr. President?
Yes.
You're getting me? So I don't know. It is not even needed in the first place. Given what has a hungry man, a frustrated man, suffered by the system, now gain by you giving certain people honor, whom people are even thinking that part of the problem, believing or thinking that part of the problem in the system. Judiciary has been on the spotlight for a very long time. You know that. Even the outcome of the election, what happened in the election and everything, the way they handled it, so it didn't go down well with some people. But all I know is that I don't think that is what Nigeria is expecting to hear from Mr. President at October 1st.
Okay, with what the lawmakers are doing already now, this is pitching the Senate against the House of Reps, especially the Senate President also being in the eye of the storm. Do you think this is going to create more bad blood between both houses, both the Senate and the House of Reps? And how do you think this is going to affect that honor that is supposed to be, that conferment award that is supposed to be held in high esteem?
Well, I will say that I don't think it will maybe cause friction on them, because they know how they come together, they know how they unite. I believe they are matured people. They are also not only old enough but intelligent enough to know how they go about their legislative businesses. Yeah. So what I think is what they should do, because Nigerians have even started criticizing this on. It shouldn't be the issue. Let them think of table issue equipment, hunger, severe hunger in the land. Let them talk of insecurity. How do we solve this? Then the rising cost of living. I'm telling you the truth. People are no longer, you see, it has now become an issue of maybe when people are now just existing. They're no longer living. Any day they wake up and see the sun, they will thank God. I think this is what should preoccupy their mind now. Because honestly, I'm telling you, all is not well with the nation as it is today.
All right. Before we leave that talking point, there was some issue raised by Philip Agbese, who raised that issue, and yes, other lawmakers. The fact that the Chief Justice of the Federation is ranked 5th in hierarchy, because we've got the President, the Vice President, the Senate President, and talking about the Speaker before the Chief Justice of the Federation. Do you think that also shows some bit of malice? Why that anomaly?
Well, if you ask me to do the composition, I think the Chief Justice of the Federation should be the 7th.
Not even the 5th?
Yeah, the 6th, because the Speaker was elected by the people.
True.
The Deputy Speaker was also elected by the people.
True.
Through their representatives. You're getting me? So it should be after the Deputy Speaker, you now get the Chief Justice of the Federation. But you know that we have 3 arms of government.
Yes.
You're getting me? We have the President heading the executive, then the Senate President heading the legislative arm, then the Chief Justice of the Federation heading the judiciary. So yes, I think that is what they brought into. But if left for me, I think it should be by the people should decide who becomes who becomes top in the hierarchy.
All right. Just to wrap it up, do you think before now we know there were certain criteria that were used in deciding who gets these honors yes, in the past?
Yes.
Either you've represented, like we know for the sporting arena, you've gone out, you've done the country proud, yes, you've done something extraordinary, like Wole Soyinka did win it because he, Nobel laureate. Would you say these persons have done anything extraordinary in the last 10 years that we get of note? Or is it the quick rise of the Chief Justice of the Federation, which some say is due to nepotism and others, and not saying that she's not worthy of it, but some school of thought have alleged different factors for her quick rise?
You see, let me even say this. I think honor should not be maybe the position you have occupied in this society, because you can be pushed by many factors, to, especially in this part of the world, where you see somebody just climbing the ladder because of whom he He
You have a
knows
connection,
you are
you have
getting me and
network.
everything. It's popular in Nigeria. It's not hidden. You are getting me. But I think it should be the content of your character. We learned about a man, a headmaster who returned millions of naira overpaid to him in a bank. I think these people should be the one to have this honor.
Even the cleaner of the air flights that
Yes, that
some
returned his
thousands
money.
of dollars and did return it to the airline.
Why should we keep on giving government officials this honor when they've not, when Nigeria is still crawling? You are getting me? So what is the justification? What is the justification of giving them this national honor? And they will tell you that Grand Commander of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is reserved for head of states and also visiting head of state. It shouldn't be. It should be for people who really should have it, because they have done something in the polity, they have uplifted humanity, they've also spread prosperity through their character or through their doings. And I will tell you that most of these people, they've even benefited from the society more than the society have benefited from them. Look at some. One was a former governor, one was a former minister, one was a former is now a Senate president. The other one was a speaker. All of them, they've all benefited from the society. So, and now I now ask, what have they given to that society that demands them having that honor? If you look at, if you tell me, I would say, no, it shouldn't be by the position you have gotten in society, but by the content of your character, what you have done to better the loss of humanity.
All right, let's move on to the next talking point. I've got the Secretary of the Nigerian Union of Journalists, the FCT Council, in the person of Ochaka Ogu in the studios, helping us look at all the talking points we're looking at. Let's move on to the local government autonomy, which has been a very contentious issue. So governors are in fresh move to delay the implementation. That's the big story here, that ahead of the submission of the report of the 10-member Inter-Ministerial Committee on the implementation of the Supreme Court ruling on local government areas autonomy next week, state governors have begun a fresh lobbying against the enforcement of the verdict. The panel headed by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation in George Akume has concluded its assignment, and it is expected to submit its report on or before October 13th, according to findings under former President Muhammadu Buhari. The Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit issued a regulation effective from June 1st, 2019, banning transactions on state and local government's joint accounts. So funds were sent directly to the account of the local government. It also limited cash withdrawals from the local government accounts to the maximum amount of 500,000 per day, with penalties for banks that failed to comply. Let's look at this issue. It's very interesting. How much kudos would you give President Ahmed Bola Tinubu for insisting that the local government autonomy comes to stay? And with this fresh move of governors, do you think they can bend the hands of Mr. President in his determination to ensure that the local government autonomy is here to stay?
Let me tell you, I think it's just because of the kind of federalism we're practicing in this part of the world. I don't know where they are practicing true federalism, like in the United States, where the local government is an issue. It's not an issue. The federating units are the states, and that is what it should be in Nigeria. The 36 states should be the federating unit. Then the 36 states, in your own wisdom, you can now create local government as much as you wish for administrative convenience. But because of local government autonomy, because there is money always going to local government, the governors, they're economic buccaneers. They now choose to now have interest in that local government. But if you do it in this way, through federalism, let the state be independent. Let the state be independent. Generate their own money. Do their own business. Pay tax to the federal government. I'm telling you, to bring out the best. We don't even need all this. When they are saying autonomy, I say, is local government a federating unit? Local government is not a federating unit. It's the 36 states that are the federating unit of Nigeria. You have the central government, then you have the federating unit. That is the 36 states. So the local government should be the business of the states. If you deem it necessary to have 20, I've advocated this before now. They should claim the 774 local government. It shouldn't be. In the federating unit, it's only the center and the federating unit, and which are the states. So for them to say that they should give local government autonomy, but in the other way again, let me sound like what we are having presently now. To me, I think they should give them autonomy. Because the governors...
Well, the Supreme Court has already ruled,
yes,
so it's law.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're getting me. But I think they should give them autonomy. But the most important thing, because even when they had autonomy in the past, what were they doing with the money? But to me, and to some people, if they're stealing, or if they're sharing, sorry, let me say this thing. If that sharing can happen in 774 local, let it happen. Than one person sitting at the government collecting the whole thing and now sitting on it. So that is it. But to me, the ideal thing is that local government should be under the state, and the state should be the federative unity, and empower the local government to do certain things, to at least to bring government nearer to the people.
Okay, let's look at the 10-man interministerial committee set up by Mr. President, chaired by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume. What's your expectation? We're looking at October 13, when the report will be submitted. What's your expectations in terms of what the report will be having? And alongside the fact that the fresh moves by the Governors Forum to stop the implementation of this, even though the Supreme Court has ruled in favor of local government autonomy, what are your expectations?
No, but the thing is that it will be enforced. But don't forget, the committee may end up enforcing it. But don't forget that most of these governors came under the supervision of the governors. And you can't rule it out, and some of them collecting this money and just wholeheartedly, His Excellency, this is it too. You're getting me? Because what in Nigeria, we are not even thinking about the policies, but they'll be thinking the next election. How do I make it back? Because the governor is in charge of the state. They have emperors in their states, and they command a lot of things, a lot of respect, a lot of influence. To the extent that during the local government election, they will just say, oh, this should happen, and this should happen, and this should happen. And I even learned that they're trying to bring a commission that will be conducting local government elections. But I now ask, where are the members? Are they coming from mass or from? Are they not? Is it not the same INEC we have, that a lot of things were manipulated? The problem with Nigeria, I keep on saying it, is about the human mind. About the human mind. I read about Senegal election. You know, they just held their election.
Oh, yeah, the Senegalese
yes, I'm telling you,
elections.
Mr. Mahmoud, I will tell you that they didn't use any technology. Police were outside the polling units and everything. But the human mind, we are ready to do the best thing. Bring the highest technology, the best technology, and that if that human mind is not ready, it can manipulate everything. It can just manipulate everything and make rubbish of whatever you are going to do. But after the election, how many people went to court in Kenya?
In Senegal.
In Senegal. But in Nigeria, somebody will rig election and tell you go to court. And it has now become a mantra. Go to court. Some people will say, oh, is this your phone? I'm taking it. Go to court. You're getting me? So it's unfortunate.
When does that not bring the judiciary into the bad light once again? And do you think there's a chance the judiciary is ready to change its bad colors, so to say?
Let me tell you, I think it's just the holistic about leadership. Everything rises and falls with leadership. But okay, look at the case of Lee Kuan Yew of Singapore. This is a man who came at the period and said, no, we cannot continue doing things like this. And look at Singapore. It's now a first world country. You're getting even giving loans to nations and also aid to nations. Okay, look at Mao Zedong of China. China is 1.4 billion people. And if you go to China, I'm telling you the truth, come and see how development is. Everybody is busy trying to live by the ideals of Mao Zedong. Who do we have in Nigeria? It's about leadership. Because that leader will pick the best of people to work with him. But when you have a leader who has been manipulated, who doesn't even want to get anything right, he'll keep on taking people, and then we'll keep on praying that one day a benevolent leader will come. And I just hope it comes fast before things get out of hand.
All right, we hope that would occur. In case you're just joining us, so watching the desk on Global Television, we're going for a very quick break. When we return from the break, we have other talking points that is of interest to us as we look at key issues making the rounds in Nigeria. We'll be taking into Edo State, where APC knocks PDP over protests at the INEC office. This and other big talking points after this break. Stay with us. All right, welcome back. You're still watching The Desk on Global Television as we look at a very salient issues that are making the rounds. I still have the Secretary of the Nigerian Union of Journalists, FCT Council, in the studio. He is Ochaka Ogu, helping us look at all the talking points from the global scene, from Mexico down to Nigeria. And now we're taking you to Edo State, where leaders and members of the People's Democratic Party in Edo State on Wednesday marched to the office of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, in Benin to protest against the outcome of the September 21st governorship election in the state. INEC declared a candidate of the All Progressive Congress, Senator Monday Okpeholo, a winner of the elections. The electoral body said Okpeholo polled 291,667 votes to defeat PDP candidate Asue Ighodalo, who polled 247,274 votes. But the PDP has since rejected the poll results, which it alleged were manipulated. How do you see this playing out? I was in Edo State for the campaign rallies and all that. One thing that was key was the fact that the people felt the PDP or the governor, as incumbent governor then, talking about Godwin Obaseki, didn't do a good job. So he had the bad side of the people already. Then some believe there was this federal might in support of the APC candidate, and that led to the overwhelming victory. For the PDP to not come out in protest, do you think is the PDP not agreeing with reality that they've not done well enough?
Well, Mahmoud, like I keep on saying, I think everything is wrong with the electoral system. Take it or leave it. Honestly, the truth must be told. Because, like I told you in Senegal, nobody even went to court. Because they saw it glaringly. Everything was at the play, everything was open. But today, you can see PDP protesting. Because even before the election, I learned a lot of, they said the security operatives were favoring APC and everything. People were arrested. A crime was committed in Edo, alleged committed in Edo, but they brought them to Abuja. And they were not asking what is the rationale of bringing them to Abuja when that crime was committed in Edo State. So these are just the issues making the round. But
from your analysis, is that enough to make your party lose an election? The fact that someone who had obviously, they are not saying he didn't commit the crime, they agree he committed the crime.
Yes.
But taking him to Abuja, does that make it, wouldn't you say that was a way of ensuring that because the governor was on the other side of the party, he might likely let him go scot-free? So that was enough reason to take him to a neutral ground.
Okay, now we are not giving them that straw to hold on that Abuja, the federal might is going to be applied to win the election.
No, I'm talking about the fact that...
I'm telling you, when you take them to Abuja, they would have allowed the law to take its due course from the High Court. Then you can now, the case now can now maybe go up.
But the question is, what's the guarantee that you're going to get fair hearing when this crime was committed?
Yes, within the locality of that place.
And somebody who was in the party of the government in power.
Yes.
And the crime was committed in favor of that government in power.
Yes.
And we heard the incumbent governor already make a statement to say that particular person would not be, is untouchable. Doesn't that suggest already?
No, it is too bad. It is too bad of a governor to be saying that somebody is untouchable because nobody is above the law. But in the other hand as well, if you bring that person to Abuja, where APC has swear, there will be that notion that the person will also the person will not get also a fair treatment. But what is now the end point now? The end point now, because of the why are they now in the street protesting over this election? Because maybe they felt that if they go to court, they will not get a fair hearing, just like other candidates. Other candidates had gone and they didn't get a fair hearing. So I think it is time we begin to strengthen our institutions. You are getting me? Because when you know that if you do this, then they bring this evidence in the court of law that you are going to leave that seat and also punished for that. And even the electoral officer will also be punished. But today, nobody gets punished for anything. And that is why somebody can do anything and tell you to go to court. So I think that is after frustration. PDP felt that even if they go to court, they will not get a fair hearing.
Okay, but for you, doesn't that also put the Independent National Electoral Commission on the spot to say, let's assume other factors had occurred? Wasn't it in the place of the INEC to ensure that the elections were free, there was no rigging and all that?
No, yeah, but a lot of people have contested MX even objectivity and also reliability. You are getting even before now. So it's not something everybody knew that. But they tell you that the greatest problem of election in Nigeria is even the umpires and also the judiciary.
All right, let's move on to the next talking point. We're still talking election matters. Just a few minutes ago, we just came from the Inter-Party Advisory Council, IPAC, where they had a press conference in the Federal Capital Territory in their secretariat, where they spoke strongly as regards plans by some elements and politicians and parties to try to disrupt the upcoming local government elections in Rivers State. And that's where the story is, as ahead of the Rivers State local government elections scheduled for Saturday, October 5th, the issue of use of voter register for the candidate of the election has continued to generate controversies. Reports say Justice Peter Lifu of the Federal High Court in Abuja, in his judgment on September 30th, 2024, barred the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC Commission, from releasing the voter register to the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission for the October 5th elections. On September 26th, a few days before the judgment, the RSIEC chairman, Justice Adolphus Enebele, retired during the flag-off of the voter register at Ward 2, Unit 10 in Rumudara Town Hall in Akpo local government area of the state review that the commission had received the voter register from INEC before the commencement of legal proceedings. Let's look at what's playing out. Akpo has something related to ex-Governor Wike and all that. Do you think this is more of a interference from both all the major players? We've seen the Fubara-Wike feud that is never ending.
Well, I don't know, but my question is why Rivers? Other states like Enugu, they just had the election and everything. So why Rivers? Why should a court order say the INEC should not release their list of voters, the voters register? What is the interest? Who is fanning this amber of hate? You getting me? But you don't just forget there's also a problem in Rivers State between the current FCT minister, who is the former governor of the state, that is Nyesom Wike, and Mr. Fubara, the present governor. You are getting me? But it shouldn't just degenerate to this. Honestly, the law should take its due course. The governor conducts election in every state of the federation. Why is now Rivers becoming a different scenario? Yeah, you see, we shouldn't play politics with everything. Let the law take its due course, because I don't know what it will generate to. You are getting me? But all I know is that the right thing should be done, and whatever comes out of it, like the Rivers electoral officer, commission head said they've already received that thing. I think the police should give them a security to conduct the election according to the law of the land, because if it has held in other states, why not Rivers State? It should be done just the way it has been done in other states of the federation.
Okay, and with what IPAC came out today at the press conference saying they're backing the Rivers election and insisting that it should hold regardless of plans by some persons to try to truncate that elections. And at the meeting, we saw the Zenith Labour Party chairman, we saw the SDP Party chairman and other parties, but the two big wigs, the APC, or Progressive Congress Party chairman, President Abdullah Ganduje, and also the PDP chairman, Damagu, were missing in action. They said a representative of the PDP showed up and later left for some reasons they could not explain.
Well, I don't know, but a lot of I think it's just about interest. You are getting interest is playing out here and there, and you can't rule out certain factors in an election because some people want to achieve certain things. You're getting me. So I want to frustrate the governor. You know how it started by impeachment, whatever. They bring this and all these things and everything. Now the latest move is to not to allow him to have a grassroots grip, because if he gets the local chairman and plant them, the councillors and everything, maybe from there he can now begin to project. But they don't want him to have that. They want him to be a mosquito a giant standing on mosquito leg, so that it can be easy to do whatever they want to do. But all I know is that I will advocate that the law should take its due.
Are you convinced the presidency is not involved in this? Are you convinced the INEC and the judiciary will be bold enough to speak truth to power and not be influenced or cowed by the fact that the APC is the ruling party and the Mr. President would have an interest?
That is what is expected of every stakeholders, to say the truth as it is, and no matter whose ox is God. Yeah, because now the governor has the prerogative to conduct local government as it is today in Nigeria. Yeah, just like it happened in my own state, Enugu, where the local government was conducted not long ago. It was a governor's affair. To the extent that
clean sweep,
the whole local, what they call it, chairman and everything. So why is that Rivers becoming different? You are getting me? So they should allow the governor to, he has already put in place an electoral umpire, and also there is also a formation, there is also a structure to conduct this election. So I will tell you that the IPAC, maybe, I don't know whom they are working for, because everything in Nigeria has now become interest.
So you think it wasn't done purely out of the interest for the inter-party,
It could be, it could not be, but all I know is that they let the right thing be done. The presidency is also expected to maybe say be on the right side. The judiciary also do it according to the law. That the electoral umpire should also do their job without interference.
Do you think the fact that there was this story of the possibility of Sim Fubara, the governor of Rivers State, jumping ship to another party in the coming months, a reason why the government, the ruling party, is hell-bent on ensuring, or Wike or whoever is behind this controversy or drama, is not allowing him have his way, because they feel if they allow him have his way, he's going to jump ship somewhere along the line, and that's going to make it difficult.
I don't think that would be the best thing for Fubara now, because he had a lot of crises in his own. He has a lot of cases. So jumping ship to another political party, they may also come with another suit that you are no longer, this political party, PDP sponsored the election as a governor, and for that you are no longer a governor, because the party that's known, you have jettisoned the party that you have jumped ship and jettisoned the party that sponsored you to power. So I think for now he's trying to consolidate, and I even learned that PDP is trying to disqualify his candidate, that they are not the main PDP candidates, and it was at a point telling them to go to another party. The most important is that structure. You are going to hold that so, because I remember when Obaseki left APC to PDP, you are getting, because he knew that he may not get the ticket. You are getting me. But why must it be so? Because he believed that the ticket is given from maybe the party top leadership in Abuja here, and no, but he left his lieutenant in that party to be causing problem in that party. So I don't think it's the best thing for Fubara to do now, to jump ship. I think it's too early for him to do that, because considering the cases he has on his hand.
All right, let's move on. Fuel scarcity looms as NNPC airport closure delays the petrol supply is the main talking point this evening. As we look at the petroleum marketers have raised an alarm that the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited portal used for the purchase of the premium motor spirit known as petrol has been shut down against dealers, making it impossible to apply for the commodity. The spokesperson of the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, Chinedu Okadike, disclosed this in a statement on Wednesday. According to him, marketers have more than 2,000 pending tickets for the purchasing of 5,000 liters of petrol. He hinted that the situation may lead to another round of fuel scarcity nationwide. He added that 45,000 liter truckload of PMS is around 39.5 million naira, and making 79 billion when multiplied by 2,000. Reacting to the development, the spokesperson of the NNPCL, Lufemi Soneye, admitted that the state-owned firm has a significant backlog to address. Do you think this is kind of deliberate, or just malfunction or inadequacy of leadership by the NNPCL?
Well, I don't even know. I think the whole system is just polarized, honestly. It's just very unfortunate that this fuel scarcity has now become a recurring decimal every time.
Even with the increase in the prices.
In the price of the product. And honestly, I think we should come out clean. honestly. I've advocated this thing before now, that NNPC should be privatized. Honestly, I've said it before now. You're getting
But with the unbundling, it was as good as almost being privatized.
Yeah, but it's still, the government still controls the controlling share. They appoint the directors, the MD and whatever. So which means they are still controlling it. So when they do that, honestly, why is the Aramco of Saudi Arabia working perfectly? Why is our own not working the way it should? You're getting, I think we should have gone beyond this level. We have 4 refineries and not even one is working. And the NNPCL boss was telling us that September Port Harcourt refinery will kick off on December, so I don't know, September. December, and they're not lying. So good news, you have been lying before.
Because they had 6 postponements.
He said they're not lying. It's going to be, how can it be like that? You see, when you're a public officer, your word, your A should be A. You're getting me? So the whole thing is just unfortunate, Mr. Momodu. But all I know is that I think there is need for us to get it right. Okay, look at that with the refinery, look at the associated problem and trying to frustration or whatever. So it's not a question of maybe patriotism. Nigeria should now stand up and now ask that the 4th refinery should work optimally, so that we cannot experience this kind of scarcity. And you know, this fuel is a life fuel of the country. Because if anything touches fuel, it now touches every segment of the society. So I think it's time for us to stop, try to maybe retrace our step and get things right. And also, you see, a nation can learn from shared experience. We can go to Aramco in Saudi Arabia. Ask them, how did they do that? Brazil Petrol. You can also ask them, why are they making progress? It's shared experience. Nobody is not about ego. You can bend down and learn whatever. Chinese did that. Chinese learned from shared experience and everything. And also they benefited from historical injustice. Because when we treat them bad, they say, oh, why must we be treated bad in this? Okay, we are going to learn from this history, from this injustice done to us. Are we even learning? Are we even ready to learn? I think. But I will tell you, the Nigeria populace are ready to learn. They are ready to move this country forward. But the problem is leadership.
All right, leadership, the same question mark everywhere we turn. All right, let's move on to the next talking point. Let's look at investment drive by the federal government. As the federal government says, it has stopped VAT, value-added tax on diesel and cooking gas. That's the federal government announcing that the provision of new tax reliefs for deep offshore oil and gas production to boost investment in the sector. It also announced that the importation of key energy products and infrastructure, including diesel, feed gas, liquefied petroleum gas, compressed natural gas, electric vehicles, liquefied natural gas, infrastructure, and clean cooking equipment would no longer require value-added tax payment. The Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, announced this in a statement. Are you excited with this possibility?
Well, I can say I'm happy and bitter.
Do you think it's going to have a positive impact?
I'm happy and bitter. You're getting me? Okay, relaxing, maybe removing that from
cooking gas,
cooking gas importation. But what
CNG.
Yes, what are these local content? How are we going to benefit from this? Why not think about within Nigeria? How do we now maybe bring most of this plan to this country so that it can give teeming Nigerians job? You're getting me? Because electric car, can you compete with China? Can you compete with all these big economies in producing this electric car? You cannot do that. You give them condition, you bring this thing, let Nigerians learn from it, and also now maybe try to learn, I think, domesticate it here, so that at least we get a lot. Okay, look at what the Naira resignation, the design of the coloration and everything. Look at what happened. Look at the kind of POS machine we imported from China. I'm telling you, that thing would have, had we did it a kind of local content, I'm telling you, a lot of Nigerians would have been working now with a lot of value chain extending to other sectors of the economy. But we didn't even think of that. We just put out that policy, and before you know it, other countries are now gaining from that particular policy. And what do we have? Nothing.
All right, just let's wrap it up. We know that looking at the Emirates return to Nigeria, Kiamo, talking about the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Kiamo, has said the return of flight operations of the Emirates Airlines to Nigeria will bring about healthy competition and competitive pricing in the international routes. Wednesday, in his remark following the arrival of aboard an Emirates aircraft. Do you think that's the sole aim or the importance of their return? We remember Peace, the CEO, kept complaining how he was being sabotaged and Nigerian Airlines suffering.
Well, you see, let me tell you, I think this is a competitive market, and sometimes in every nation you give an edge to indigenous companies. Emirates is a world airline, and world-class airline, and they can source for money anywhere, they have what it takes, even to ground Nigeria Airlines. Yeah, they can bring it down and do whatever they want to do. They will still stand. So I think Nigeria government should do something to protect our indigenous airline, no matter what. Yeah. So I welcome the Emirates airline, but all I know is that Nigeria maybe by whatever tax reduction, or maybe maybe incentives to our own indigenous airlines, so that they will not run them out of business, because they have the monetary and financial muscle to even they can even to do everything to even liquidate our own. But the federal government should be very, very watchful and make sure it doesn't happen.
All right, I want to say a big thank you to the Secretary of the Nigerian Union of Journalists and the person of Chaka Ogo, who has been super fantastic helping us do analysis of all the big talking points from Mexico to down to the local government autonomy issues, and not forgetting other issues concerning the Rivers local government elections. I want to say thank you very much for gracing our studios, and we hope in the coming days we'll see more of you.
Thank you for inviting me, Mr. Mamadou.
All right, that's how we call it a wrap on today's edition of the program, The Desk on Global Television. My name is Anthony Mamadou, saying thank you for being part of the show. Let's do this again tomorrow.